Right, we're in the middle of Little Matlock Gorge at this point, and this crag of rock is known rather charmingly as the Wishing Stone Crag in the middle of the gorge. And we have some interesting evidence here of the conditions which brought this about. The faulting, which we've referred to already, was very complex and probably was Caledonian in age, which would be about 440 to 420 million years ago, end of Silurian. This was a time where the Iapetus Ocean was closing up and continents were colliding. So we have evidence here of a very extreme tectonic activity. This would have been a highly seismic area with very strong earthquakes and uplift of rock. And what we have in this particular location here, in the Wishing Stone Crag, is evidence of one of those faults. We can see a sort of Z shape in the structure, coming out here in this lip, coming back here and here. This suggests that this fault block has fallen away and that fault block has ridden up over it, creating a Z shape. This is certainly indicative of compression rather than tension. And further, if we look at it in more detail, we can see the relative movement of the fault blocks has created a wonderful surface here called a Slickenside. You can see it's striated and polished. In fact, in some cases, faults are so well polished they're almost mirror-like. And another interesting fact is that if you run your finger down it, it's smooth one way and it's rough another way, a bit like sort of patting a dog the wrong way from the tail to the head. And that suggests the movement that's gone in a particular direction. These are extremely old faults, and so we don't actually see that detail. The surface has been mineralized, I expect, but it's certainly indicative of very extreme compression during the Caledonian orogeny. There could have been reactivation at a later date, what's called the Variscan orogeny, around 300 million, when these faults might have been working again. And so it's very complex, and the direction of strike and dip of these faults is in various directions. And that suggests we're along a fracture zone rather than a simple fault line. And it is on this fracture zone we think the Little Matlock Gorge must have been established.